What's going on, everybody? I am back to break down the 6-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel on this Saturday. Excited to get into the breakdown, giving you guys the top place to get in that green cash line as always, guys. If you enjoy this content at any point in this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. If you're getting very serious about NBA DFS, I do offer an NBA DFS premium package. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. You can get that link below in the description. And if you haven't signed up over on PrizePicks, the sponsor of the program, I would highly recommend that you do. It is a player props website where you can win things. You can win money off from picking things like players, overs, and unders on points, assists, rebounds, points, rebounds, and assists, three-pointers made. I've been putting out daily content on that on the channel. And when you do so, using that promo code KJK DFS, you will receive an instant match deposit up to $100. Once again, that's code KJK DFS. Get that free money over there. Start locking in those picks I've been giving out on my other videos. And, taking advantage of that free offer, some free money, and winning over there. So don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video for my lock of the night, guys. As always, fan favorite segment on the channel. I'll be giving that out. And let's talk about it. Let's go game by game on DraftKings first, and then let's go over to FanDuel second. I'll get an overall feel for the slate, some injury news, all that fun stuff on DraftKings, and then obviously we'll talk about some pricing discrepancies and all that fun stuff. So, first game on the slate right now, we have the Toronto Raptors taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Comes in with a 226 over-under. It's a 2.5-point spread in favor of the Atlanta Hawks, so expect it to stay close, expect it to be up pace. And after Toronto getting absolutely blown out last night, I think that this could be a good bounce-back spot for some of them. Some of these guys have a really big game, and we know there's no OG Anunoby, so I'm really looking to lock in on 4 guys, and I was looking to lock in on them last night, and I will continue to do so. I think we're going to see a lot of Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent, and Scotty Barnes usage now, with there being no more OG Anunoby, and then filing in a bunch of secondary guys. So I'm really looking to lock in. Scotty Barnes' price tag is way too cheap. His price tag just went down more. He was one of my favorite plays last night. I'll continue to go right back to him again at 5.6. That's just too cheap. Love that. I think Gary Trent at 6.5 is priced very reasonably. Didn't have the best game last night. Once again, they got blown out, but I don't think that's too scary, and this Atlanta defense is really bad. Looking at my defensive half-court putbacks tool as far as how they rank overall, Atlanta right now in the league, 28th overall in points per possession rank, 24th in half-court points per play rank. Just really not good. So I'll be looking to load up on a ton of Siakam, VanVleet, Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes, and certainly taking advantage of this great matchup. But then running it back on the other side, John Collins continues to be listed as out. With him being out, there should be more minutes and more usage to go around for Danilo Gallinari, a Kevin Knox. Danilo Gallinari at 5.1 has been very good in the increased minutes. 35 minutes last time out, 37 DraftKings points. He's going to continue to be a great play at this 5.1 price tag as long as there is no John Collins. Just keep going back to the well with him. And I do like Trae Young a lot as well at 9.5. He's grading out as one of the top plays in the slate for me right now in a big way, to be honest, at this 9.5 price tag. He looks very good to me. His last few games, 32, 38, haven't been the greatest, but he's putting up 1.43 DraftKings point per rate on the season. I've got him projected to play 35 minutes in this game environment at 9.5. He's looking phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal over here on DraftKings, so I would certainly be willing to load up on him. And then you have the secondary options on the Atlanta side, DeAndre Hunter, Bogdanovich. All these guys you can be kind of cycling in through your lineups. Kevin Huerter at 4.5. All have a lot of upside. It's a very versatile play, so, not cash game options. And then Clint Capella at 6.6, seeing a little bit more minutes with there being no John Collins as well. Memphis taking on Chicago is the next game on the slate. As far as the total in this game comes in with a 237 over-under. It's a 1.5-point spread in favor of the Chicago Bulls. Expected to be close, expected to be very fast up pace, and definitely a game I'll be wanting to load up on, getting a lot of exposure to. Zach LaVine at 8.6 continues to be priced way too cheap in my opinion for his upside. This guy has 50-plus fantasy point upside on any given night. Gets one of the best possible pace-up matchups you could ask for, and he's playing lots of minutes. So I will be willing to load up on all of the Zach LaVine in this one at 8.6 for sure. Going to like him a lot. Nikola Vucevic at 9.6, size price tag come down to be much more reasonable than the 10.1 price tag, so I do think he's pretty great as well. DeMar DeRozan continues to be priced at 10.5. That's a little bit dicey for me. He's been very consistent from a cash game aspect. If you can fit him in and get him in your lineups, that's great. It's just 10.5. He's got to have a really big game. Like, if he goes out there and puts up 50, that's great and all, but 10.5, like, I think we could get 50 out of Zach LaVine, who's only 8.6. You know what I mean? So I'm willing to capitalize on some other cheaper guys that have more upside at their price tags, respectively. The same can be said for John Morant. John Morant's only 9.7. He's the main usage candidate on the Memphis Grizzlies side of things. I would much rather play John Morant at 9.7 at a discount than DeMar DeRozan. Just kind of way this thing's grading out. And then the secondary options on Memphis, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, continue to be phenomenal plays. As long as there's no Dylan Brooks, these guys are going to continue to really dominate the usage, really play a lot of minutes, so I certainly am willing to get a lot of exposure to them in this type of a game environment. And the same can be said for Steven Adams. He's really cheap at 5'4". He's a really good rebounder when he's out there on the floor for limited minutes. And he can be a little bit dicey because the minutes aren't always the highest in the world, but when they do get there, the rebounding and the overall upside on the fantasy point per minute production is much, it's plenty enough to justify this 5'4" price tag. So he's another guy that I would certainly be having some exposure to. Does grade out as a pretty great play in my projection model right now. I've got him projected to play 25 minutes. So, he could definitely go over that. He's gone anywhere from 32, 36 to 27. I would say I've got him projected on a pretty, modest side, and he's still grading out pretty great for upside at his price tag. Desmond Bane at 6'3", another one of those guys that certainly looks good and that I just touched on. So next game on the slate, we have Washington taking on Cleveland. As far as the total in this game right now comes in with a 206 over-under, one of the worst game environments on the slate. This is a slate where it's going to be very high scoring, and this one is just not it. So as far as my overall exposure in this one, I'm not too sure. We're going to talk about some price tags. Obviously, Kyle Kuzma continues to be a usage monster. Just keep in mind that game went to double overtime last night. He played 46 minutes, but he still would have had a phenomenal game regardless. He played really well. So 63.5 DraftKings points last night. That's the kind of upside that we could see out of Kyle Kuzma going forward. Certainly looking like an intriguing option for me on the Cleveland side. Evan Mobley at 6'8" is someone that's really standing out to me, and he does get a great matchup. Cleveland definitely gets a much better matchup than Washington. The Washington defense just isn't good. Evan Mobley at 7'8", looking like a pretty juicy play for me here, man. I've got him projected to play quite a few minutes, 37 minutes. I mean, he's been playing 35, 36, so I might be a little bit, on the high side of my projection, but when you look at the numbers, it's been matching up. As of late, he's putting up 0.98 DraftKings points per minute. Maybe I alter that down to, 35 minutes on my projection, and he doesn't look quite as good as the day goes on here, but regardless, he does look like a really great play here. And would be my favorite play from the Cleveland side. And I think Lauri Markkanen's pretty interesting as well at a 5'8" price tag. We've seen him coming back, working his way back here as far as his overall minutes. Played 28 last time. I think that could continue to increase as well. I think he's a decent tournament option, putting up 0.85 DraftKings points per minute. I've got him projected to play 30 minutes right now. So once again, just to be transparent on my projection, obviously that's, that could be altered throughout the day. This is a first look video, but those are kind of the guys that I would be looking to go to on Washington. I think you're kind of targeting the ceiling with Kyle Kuzma and not really getting too cute with anyone else. I mean, these other guys, it's a little bit scary for me. I mean, the one guy I would have to say, 78 minutes for Denny Avicii. I don't think that's right. The one guy I would say is Daniel Gafford. Daniel Gafford looks to be one of the top plays on the slate for me right now in my projection model. He played 29 minutes last time out. Once again, double overtime. I've got him projected to play 22 minutes, and only 3-1 a price tag. He's putting up 1.05 DraftKings points per minute. We saw him get the start last time. Certainly keep your eyes on the starting lineup. If he starts again, I do think he's a really great value play. The price tag's come down from 3.4 to 3.1. So, I mean, it just makes it that much easier to be putting him in your lineups for some salary relief on this slate tonight. San Antonio Spurs taking on the Miami Heat. It's a 225.5 over-under. Definitely going to be a pace-up spot for the Miami Heat, which makes things pretty interesting on their side of things. Not the greatest total in the world, but like I said, going to be pace up for them, which automatically makes me want to look to a Jimmy Butler or Bam Adebayo. Anytime they're in a pace up matchup, these two guys definitely the top two candidates to have the highest upside games on the Miami Heat. So anytime they're in a pace up, those guys immediately kind of catch my eye. And I do think that Tyler Hero is really interesting as well at 6'2". He's currently grading out as one of the top value plays on the slate for me as far as an upside at his price tag. He's playing right around 30 minutes a game. I've got him projected to play 30, 1.02 DraftKings points per minute. We know the upside's there for more. After last game, he just put up 44 DraftKings points. So maybe that catches some eyes and people want to go to him. But regardless, he does grade out as a really great play for me in my model right now. And certainly someone I'd be looking to load up on. Lonnie Walker at 4-1 continues to be an interesting play on the San Antonio Spurs side of things. Getting a lot of usage off the bench, getting a lot of minutes now. Put up 29 last time, 28, 33. It's been really consistent at 4-1. I do think he's an interesting option. And then the obvious pay-up option, I mean, DeJounte Murray. The guy's been fantastic all season long. The price tag's up to 10.7, but for good reason. Last time out, put up 70 DraftKings points. He had like 40 in the first half, so problem is he gets a difficult matchup. Miami's really not the best matchup in the world. His price tag's way up. I'm not really sure that I want to be paying that when I can go to some other guys in better matchups. Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell continue to be great plays, though, at 5'8 and 5'1 respectively, with there being no more Derek White. Those are two guys we've been playing a lot of, that I've been talking a lot of, and as I should be, because they just look like great plays. Keldon Johnson, every single night out, is going to have just a huge amount of upside. The career high last night, 32 points, I believe, was the headline I saw. And wouldn't be surprised to see him doing some more of that moving forward. Can be very streaky. He's a little shooting reliant, so just keep that in mind. But the upside's always going to be there when it comes to him. And then, Jakob Poeltl. Well, just locking in on those guys. Kyle Lowry's the secondary option on the Miami Heat side of things. He just doesn't seem to be having the biggest upside on the season, but he's looked better as of late. I think it's a thing where if you're playing Jimmy Butler, you probably fade Kyle Lowry. If you're playing Kyle Lowry, you probably fade Jimmy Butler. It's kind of how I would approach it. Yeah. Brooklyn taking on Milwaukee is the next game on the slate. Comes in right now with a 236.5 over-unders and 9.5 point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. So the blowout is a little bit of a scare here. As far as the Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie Irving is expected to be back in this one. He's obviously going to be an absolute usage monster now. There's no Ben Simmons. There's no Kevin Durant. As long as those guys remain out, Kyrie Irving's going to just dominate, man. He's going to have a lot of usage, and if this game stays close, I can guarantee it's because Kyrie's having a pretty big game. He's going to have a lot of opportunity to have, assists dished out. He's got some help now with Seth Curry, Andre Drummond down low, and he's going to have a lot of usage. So Kyrie Irving, the first guy you're looking to go to. Giannis Antetokounmpo on the other side at 11-8. It's really just a matter of fact if the game stays close. If the game stays close, it's going to be one of the best pay-up options on the slate. If it doesn't, not so much. And there's also another option we're going to talk about in the next game, Nikola Jokic. So you're going to have to decide, do I want to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo? Do I want to go with Nikola Jokic? I can tell you, looking at my projections right now, I definitely lean towards going with Nikola Jokic. It's a closer spread. It's a higher total, barely. I mean, it's a 237 compared to a 236.5, but just looks like a better play for me. So, yeah. Giannis, good play, but obviously he's, an opportunity cost us to go to the other guy. Bobby Portis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday are all options to be playing to get leverage off from Giannis. If you're looking to do that in your tournament lineups, Drew Holiday at 7-7 would probably be my favorite option of the bunch, just as far as overall upside, but Bobby Portis is my favorite upside at his price tag. For sure in this one. Seth Curry, Andre Drummond at 6'1", 6'3", I think continue to be a big part of this rotation regardless of Kyrie Irving coming back. So if you want to continue to go them, decent. Andre Drummond's minutes are limited enough to where it's a little bit dicey. He's the definition of a tournament play. It's just like you're going to get him low owned and he could easily go out there and put up 45 DraftKings points in limited time. So that's kind of the appeal to him. Other than that, though, in this game, am I really looking to go to anyone? I don't really think so. I mean, that's pretty much a good overall summary of where I'd be looking to. Just quick little run on my projections. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Grayson Allen at 4.7 would be an interesting option that maybe I missed touching on. Same can be said for LaMarcus Aldridge, but I think there's better options on the slate in that price range. So Sacramento taking on Denver is the last game on the slate. This game comes in with a 237 over-under. It's an 8-point spread in favor of the Denver Nuggets, so expected to stay somewhat close, expected to be very fast-paced. And Nikola Jokic, once again, I had a lot of interest in him last time out. He went up there and put up 65 DraftKings points. The price tag has come down from 12.5 to 12K, which makes me like him even more. I mean, that 500 is actually a big deal because 65 DraftKings points last time at 12.5 compared to 12K could be, believe it or not, a very big difference. So I like going to Nikola Jokic, and the other three main candidates on Denver certainly look good as well. Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, and Monty Morris. Will Barton, 44 DraftKings points last time. I talked about having interest. We'll definitely have interest again. Aaron Gordon, once again. Monty Morris, once again. All four of those guys definitely going to look fantastic in this game environment. It's just too easy. Monty Morris at his price tag of 5.2 has the biggest appeal for me as far as upside at his price tag. 29 minutes I've got him projected for. He's been playing 31 the last couple times out, so that looks really good to me. And then running it back on the other side, I think Justin Holiday and Harrison Barnes are pretty interesting at 4.2 and 6.3 respectively. For secondary options on the Sacramento side, Justin Holiday, not exactly the top tier fantasy point per minute producer, putting up 0.70 DraftKings points per minute on the season, but I've got him projected to play 27 minutes. Makes him look pretty decent for me. Same could be said for Harrison Barnes at 6.3. Just a lot of minutes, not the best fantasy point producer, but makes him look decent for me. The obvious options are De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Domantas Sabonis looks phenomenal for me at this 9.4 price tag. Just keep playing the guy. He's playing upper 30 minutes per game. The usage has been great since joining Sacramento. It's a no-brainer. Don't overthink it. Just lock him in your lineups and like it a lot. And then De'Aaron Fox, very scoring reliant. So it's not quite as easy as a no-brainer, but the upside's there for him. So it's more of an upside play for me when it comes to De'Aaron Fox. So yep, that's kind of my overall breakdown of the 6-game slate. Looking over to FanDuel, of course, to make sure we didn't miss out on any pricing discrepancies. We got a good overall idea of the slate, but I always like to, just talk about the FanDuel and the pricing discrepancies. Daniel Gafford at 3.7. We talked about it. He's really cheap. I had a lot of exposure to him last night. I think he can continue to be a good play at 3.7. There is an opportunity cost because you can only play one center on FanDuel, but 3.7 is just really friendly for a guy that puts up 1.09 FanDuel points per minute on the season. So I do think that's pretty intriguing. Trae Young, once again, at 9.2. This guy looks really good for me in my projection model, so I got to say that right now. I've mentioned it on DraftKings, but over here on FanDuel as well. His price tag is just sitting in that range where this guy could just crush from an upside aspect. He hasn't been as consistent, but I mean, this guy goes up there and puts up 50 DraftKings points at this price tag. You're going to be very happy. Scotty Barnes I talked about at 5.9. Just looks really good on both websites with the increased role now, with there being no OG Anunoby. So he's a guy that I wanted to touch on. Will Barton, Kyle Kuzma continues to be priced a lot cheaper over here on FanDuel. I think he could garner a lot of ownership from that game last night, though, and he's taking on a Cleveland squad that, as mentioned, is like one of the worst, paced down matchups. Not going to be nearly as good as the game environment, so I might be fading him tonight just to kind of get a little bit different. Bobby Portis is another guy that the pricing discrepancy stands out over here on FanDuel. There's some of these guys, it's like you're a broken record on FanDuel, man, because they just don't change the price tag. Like, Cade Cunningham's been cheap all year long. Bobby Portis has been cheap all year long. They just make it real difficult on you to want to get away. Nikola Jokic looks really great. Already talked about him. DeJounte Murray at 9.7. Got a bit of a price tag decrease over here, so that's a little bit interesting. Monty Morris, Desmond Bane, Aaron Gordon, Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox. Like, these guys in these fast, up-tempo games, obviously they're going to look really good in my projection model. I mean, I talked about them over here on DraftKings, but 237 in the Kings-Nuggets game, 237 in the Grizzlies-Bulls game. They're looking like great plays because it's just a fast, naturally they're going to project like much better plays. So I think that kind of goes without saying. Zach LaVine at 7.8, really cheap over here on FanDuel. Once again, one of those guys similar to Cade Cunningham. Just every time I break down FanDuel, he's cheap. So at this point, some of that stuff's just getting a little repetitive, but I have to point it out to you guys. So that's, some of the guys. We already had an overall breakdown on DraftKings. A lot of the same plays, do apply, but there are some pricing discrepancies, so I always like to circle back. I talked about Evan Mobley on DraftKings, looking like a really great play. He does look pretty good over here on FanDuel as well at 7.5, so that's someone you could certainly be looking to. And, yeah, that is my overall breakdown, guys. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Of course, I got to give you my lock of the night before I let you go, but if you haven't signed up for Prize Picks, go ahead and do so using that promo code KJK DFS to receive that instant match deposit. And if you haven't checked out the premium content packages, would highly recommend that you do. I got the DraftKings FanDuel, the Prize Picks, the NBA combo. Check them out. And without further ado, guys, before I let you guys go, got to give you my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Scotty Barnes. No more OG Anunoby in this Toronto Raptors rotation. I think that's going to be huge for his usage, his peripheral stats, all of the above, and we know the minutes are going to be there. Toronto getting blown out last night was one of my favorite options and still is in a game that's expected to stay close here and against an Atlanta Hawks defense that is not good. 24th overall in half-court points per play rank, 28th in the league, bottom 3 in the league in points per possession rank, 14th in offensive rebounding percentage rank, and 15th in putbacks. Lots of second-chance opportunities, lots of points given up by this Atlanta Hawks team, and a great pace-up matchup for this Toronto Raptors squad. Get him in your lineups because he is my lock of the night. So there, guys, Scotty Barnes, get him in your lineups. Price tag has not been adjusted. The role has taken a big bump up. It's really a no-brainer for me. Just love the spot. I think both websites, the price tag, just a hammer spot. Get him in your lineups, and that is all from me in this one. If you enjoyed this content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload, guys. Wishing you all the best of luck on this slate tonight. We will see you on the live stream later, hopefully on. And if not, we will see you in the next one.